Class, today we are going to be converting fractions to decimals. So I'm in my table of contents. I'm going to write fractions to decimals, page 91. Okay, let's get started with writing our objective. So today I can convert a fraction to a decimal. Okay, let's take a look at something. Let's say that we have 52 over 100, and they want us to convert this fraction into a decimal. So here is how we can go about it. So the first thing we want to do is decompose or break apart our numerator. So I'm going to say 52 is also equal to what? 50 over 100 plus 2 over 100, right? Because 50 plus 2 is 52 over 100. Now, I can also break this one apart even more. So I can divide by 10. And now we have 5/10 plus 2 hundredths. So I can look at this and think, okay, I have 52 over 100. I can decompose 52 over 100 to equal 50 over 100 plus 2 over 100. But I can decompose 50 over 100 even more by dividing by 10. So I divided the denominator by 10, and I divided the numerator by 10. This gave me 5/10 and 2 hundredths. So now I'm going to write that out. So I'm going to write in word form. So 5/10 and plus 2 hundredths. Okay, now I want to put it into a place value chart. So I'm just going to write, if this is my decimal, over here I have my what? This place value would be my ones, right? And this would be like my tens, okay? But as you can see, we're working with decimals, so we have 5/10 and 2 hundredths, so that comes after. So we have ones, tens, but then after that decimal, we have what we call tenths and hundredths. So I'm gonna write it down here because I have more space. So here we have tenths and hundredths. And you can see that once we break apart our fraction and we break it down and decompose it a little bit, we can just put these numbers in right away. So 5/10, how many tenths do I have? Tenths and tenths, I have 5/10. And how many hundredths do I have? I have 2 hundredths. So I can say that 52 over 100 is equal to 52 hundredths, okay? Now I could put a 0 here because there is no ones. If there was like a whole number, let's say there was like a 1 right here or something, then that would be a 1, right? You have a 1, 1. But we're just working with fractions out of 100 today. So here's how I tackled that. So I'm gonna write down those steps and then we're gonna do a couple more together. So I'm gonna write steps down here. So step 1, decompose the And let's do another one as we're doing these steps. So let's do 24 over 100. So the first thing I need to do is decompose that. So I could do, I'm just going to decompose my tens and my ones place. So I'm going to do 20 over 100 plus what's left over? 4 over 100. Okay, I can't break apart this 4 out of 100 because I can't divide the same by the numerator because 4 is pretty small, so that one's good. But as you can see here, we can divide this even more. So step 2, I'm going to say divide. So we could say divide bigger fraction by 10, and then I'm going to say if you can. So I can divide 20 and 100, or I can divide by 10 here and then by 10 up top too. So I can take 20 over 100 plus 4 over 100. I can't divide by 10 here, but I can divide by 10 here. So dividing by 10 would just cross off each 0. So now I have 2 tenths plus 4 hundredths, right? Okay, step 3. Write the numerator into, I want to say PV, but we need place value chart. Okay, so I have 2 tenths, I'm just reading this, right? 2 tenths plus 4 hundredths. So here's my ones place. Here's my decimal. I don't have any ones because I don't have a whole number, I just have a fraction. So this is going to be 0. But then I have, I'm going to write it. Can you see that? Yeah. So I'm going to write, this is my tenths place. And then I have my hundredths. Oop. Okay. So how many tenths do we have? We have 2. So 2 tenths and 4 hundredths. And this is how we would read it, 24 hundredths. So you say whatever word is the last. So you don't say like 2 tenths and 4 hundredths. You just say 24, and then whatever your number you're done with is where you say your word. So we can say that 24 over 100 is equal to 24 hundredths. And you can say, we say these two numbers the exact same way. So we would say 24 hundredths is equal to 24 hundredths, right? So you know you've done it correctly when you say it the right way, right? If you said 24 hundredths is equal to 24 tenths, that would be wrong. 24 tenths would look like this, right? That would say 24 tenths, but how we say 24 hundredths is this way. And then the last step we want to do is place it on a number line. So I'm going to flip it over. So step 4 is to plot decimal on number line. Okay, so let's look at this. We're going to draw a number line. Okay, and we're going to do 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, make this bigger because we want to go all the way to 100 or 10, 0.8, 0.9, and then this will be 0.10. Okay, so in between our lines, we have 10 lines in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Okay, so here's how we want to plot 24 hundredths, or, all right, this is the same thing as 24 over 100. So we want to place it on a number line. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my 0.2 and 0.3, right? That's where my number falls in between. 0.24, it's more than just 20 tenths, right? It's 24 hundredths, so it's going to go somewhere in between. So I'm going to go 21, 22, 23, 24. So 0.24, right? So I would put 0.24, which is also the same as putting like 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So that is how we would plot it on a number line. So let's do one more together, and then I'll send you home with one. Okay, so let's do 73 over 100. Okay, step one is to break apart our numerator. So I'm going to decompose it. So I'm going to do 70 plus 3. Okay, can I divide this by 10 to make it smaller? Nope, that one stays the same, but I can divide by 10 here. So now we have 7 tenths plus 3 hundredths. So now I can put it into a place value chart. So I'm going to write it out first. So 7 tenths plus 3 hundredths. And now I'm going to put it in a place value chart. So I have my ones place. Here's my big decimal. And then I have tenths and hundredths. That's all we're going to be working with. So there's way more that you'll learn when you're older. But for now, we're just going to do tenths and hundredths. So I'm going to write tenths and hundredths. Okay, so right when we're here, we already know what to put in, right? There's 0 whole numbers, but I have 7 tenths and 3 hundredths. So I can say that 73 hundredths is equal to 73 hundredths. And did I say them correctly? Yes. 73 hundredths is equal to 73 hundredths. So I know I converted it correctly into a decimal because I'm saying the exact same thing. So your two numbers should be said the exact same way if you did them correctly. Okay, I'm just going to give you one to work on tonight, and then we'll practice more tomorrow. Ooh, this pencil. So why don't you guys do 48 over 100? Okay, so you're going to decompose it, divide by 10 if you can, put it into word form, put it on your place value chart, and then show how you converted it. Okay, see you tomorrow.